Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Disco Elysium episode 6. In the last episode we went through this place. It's the back of the bookshop, and then we went and we investigated the corpse, and then we died and got a game over. Yay, our first game over of the Let's Play. And this is the last save that I've got. So we're gonna have to go back and do it all again. Yay! So hopefully I won't die this time. I died investigating a corpse, which is very strange. But I like the way they did the game over thing, with the newspaper article and all that. So even though it was sad to die, it was quite fun. So just gonna explore all this again. Explore. What do we got? You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? It looks like a giant ice bear. The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door. Open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Kim. It's a fridge. Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door. Take a look inside. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with a brand name, Ravishal Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. Take the note. Handwritten note. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnet keeping it on the door. Examine the ice cream wrapper. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore. I know, says the lieutenant. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day. The lieutenant points at the red, snaky cable running from the fridge. Close the door and leave. Isn't that interesting? What do we got? We got here, we got an ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. Over here, we have the flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway. A hidden doorway. Kim. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. Oh, here we go. A hole in the wall. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Where are we? Look around at the secret room. Seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Looks at all those rifles. Look at all those rifles, he points up. At the rifles under the ceiling. Must be an old weapons cache. Look in the hole. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look? Okay. Your hand reaches deep into the darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Rifles, Kim. The lieutenant steps closer. Curious, are they any good? Inspect the rifles. Most of them are rusty and inoperable like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock and better cosmetic order than the other. This one looks nice. An old bell magrave from the Revolution, the lieutenant notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. What does this mean? It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future. Interesting. So we now have an inoperable rifle. I'll go this way. I thought there was... Didn't the lady... The wall collapsed... a thick layer of coal and dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Is it a furnace? Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats. Look inside the furnace. It's dark and grimy in here. The darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other near the smoke chamber upstairs. That's me. The echo is so prominent it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them. What are you doing? The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I hear they're Murderer of the Hanged Man talking. I can hear someone talking upstairs. Really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs. Kick? No. But we've been upstairs. Unless I missed something. We have been upstairs. That's where we came from. Maybe I'll go back up and have a look and see if I missed anything. Are there stairs going up? This is a frozen ice cream maker that is still running. The two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Unplug the giant red cable. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Intercom wires run into the breaker box. Head back over. We've unplugged the bear. Did it do anything? Can I look at the bear again? I can. It is now unplugged. But it doesn't give me... oh wait, the bear's eyes are dead. Something's slightly melting because the power's been turned off. I said let's look upstairs, see if anyone's talking. I see no other stairs. So we'll go back up. Is anybody talking? Any other stairs? Any other ups? Doesn't appear to be anywhere to go. Oh wait, maybe... No. Because I can't go that way. Oh, there's some... Oh, did I? I haven't been up here. Oh. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from in here. Knock on it. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Knock on it harder. Still nothing. No one's home. Knock even harder. The curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. There must be another way to wake up whoever's there. Maybe we can try yelling into that furnace downstairs. It gotta go up and down. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. The floorboards creak. What's up here? Take a postcard. Take all. Anything else? Anything else of interest? Anything? A chair. Anything else? Okay. So we'll go back to... How did I miss these stairs? Where did I come from? Must have appeared... I have no idea. Oh, I came in this way. I came in and around here and never saw that door. Because I was an idiot. I'm going the wrong way. Because I was an idiot. I apologize for the noise, but my dad is working at the back building us a new decking, so soz. I try not to record when there's that kind of work going on, but I need to record something today, so I have no option. Oh wait, that's a physical... How is yelling a physical instrument? Just try it. Oh, success! Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voice above suddenly ceases. Then you hear a woman's voice. This is the police. Who's there?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside. The lieutenant nods, then points upstairs. After you, officer! Beep. So that was all I had to do. Cool. Maybe I won't die in this episode. We can always hope. Most checks have secret difficulty modifiers. Talking to the right person can reopen a closed white check. Interesting. Let's go back the way I came, up these stairs. The plot thickens. So what's behind here? There's a person. The tray is full of dice, colourful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. Interesting. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. And who are you?
Hello.
Novelty
I'm
dice
Leah.
maker. A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view back to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Hold on, what do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a milieu is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
No. Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident, does that count? Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual.
I've only got 5.
Take a look
real.
around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around here are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. How did you become a dice maker? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Dice is where it's at, everybody. Yep. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Do you like role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay, and our role players are customers. As customers, they're nice people. They are nice people. Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing really. I didn't know him. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean by daily ruckus, Kuno? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try to come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in, but I never saw anyone during the fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window? I might have, she admits, but in this case all I could have seen would have been my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's light here, but dark in the yard at night. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out of the window when I'm in the zone. Do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I see. Thank you for your answers. She nods. Anything else? Hey, where are we anyway? Investigate the Doom's commercial area. We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they're being repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Creative. The lieutenant looks around in the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the Doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above, but I don't think those stories are true. How do you explain how... It's the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies. Plaisance, the bookshop lady. She raises her brows. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Actually, the bookstore isn't doing well. There are hardly any customers and she has to exploit her own daughters to keep the company. The curse is just biding its time. Got that one. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. It's part of it? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. It's still a separate building. I'm having trouble paying my bills. And then there's me, she sighs, looking at her musty work table. All kinds of tools lie there, scattered from knives to carving plies to wire cutters. I've been here for 14 years selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived, despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse. It's because you're competent. The curse, I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse. I was just about to ask. She leans forward in her chair to study your face. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real? I'm starting to see that there's no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. She pinches the root of her nose. The truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with? Yes. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone, more or less. She adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. Are you interested in anyone specific? All of them. There used to be a hair salon here, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that world. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customer should be more open-minded. I guess it just wasn't that time yet. She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym? It wasn't really a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drug and crime. And who was Artemitep? A kind man from Ziemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym. It was his way of giving back. Maybe that's what Kuno needs. Kuno, Horizon Hour on the dim light. Who's Kuno? He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies. Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment. Where's Kuno? I think it will take more than a gym to help that kid, yeah. How did that community project work out? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumour that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. What's up with the broken windows? Oh, this one's a mess. She sighs. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieus. Who would have guessed? What's a snuff milieu? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway, and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Cool. The debris. What's milieu? It's a sub-rosa radio station that podcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. That is weird. So when you say that oh dear, is there dead bodies lying all around the place? Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-rosas. The lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. Then she lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. You mean Mr. Fabron the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else? I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Insect rights activists? The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin. Chitin among the materials. Apparently, chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Insects don't have brains or feelings. Actually, insects do have brains, she corrects you. But yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far. As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving. Anything else? What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending holiday transmissions from Tulula, or Chimichurri, or Kashtkor, or wherever he is. What do they say? The usual, I imagine, that he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you. Men like that ought to curse. The man is stern. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All the remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. They were just props. Why return to them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long. I found a strange machine. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of memory lights up her face. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Viral. That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. What do you mean liberal? What happened? The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. What went wrong? Well, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break. They seem to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. She sounds almost mocking when she says that. From what I've did look quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up and work on time. Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard. I would have supported them. You're right, they should have just tried harder. It is very hard. And so is producing something extraordinary. Her eyes wander to the shelves full of die prototypes and discarded models. Anything else? There was a terrifying taxidermist bear in the cellar. Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ice citying. You're in for a treat here. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. Indeed, what were the other ideas? All right, what about their other ideas? Well, there was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighbourhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. What do they expect? 20 cents per hour as dogs pay. That's an award-winning idea. I don't, Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, but not alone. There were always acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear? The bear, she repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out? Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. That is pretty bad. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes and for only 5 cents a piece out of regular fridges. It's the market doing its job. I killed the bear, you unplugged it. Oh my god. I should have picked that. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't doing his job. I mean, how come? He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion. Sounds cool. Megatherion? Megatherion nods the dice maker. A mega wild beast. What's a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do drugs, mostly. More drugs. Okay. I don't do drugs. Very good. You shouldn't do them, nods the dice maker. You're a police officer, after all. Yes. Yes, of course. Anyway, now that you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire, she seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly. Little sparkling embers under the window. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. I had other questions. That's no. I have more questions about this building? Nope. I had other questions. Okay, leave. So in my notebook, get the hangman boots, run the number of victims, armor, where's the rest of the armor, investigate the doomed commercial area, report back to Plaisance. Is that all I have to do? Cool. Also, I have something in my thing, right? Because I died last time, because I couldn't heal myself. And I picked up, is it a tool? Chain cutters? Pry bar? No. Item? Was it here? Hell, that's a torch, keys. I could have sworn maybe I didn't pick it up this time. Rifle, there's a pen, there's a handkerchief, shop a ball, interact. Book. Photo. Handwritten note. Use the interact button in the inventory. Interact. A note from the fridge. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. What does it say? Does it say anything interesting? The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder. This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Read the note. Someone has scribbled S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'll do it myself. If I lived in a civilized place with a freezer, take care. I wonder who wrote the note. Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here. Maybe they had to leave in a hurry. That's a plausible hypothesis. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge. Who's the little ginger kid? Really? The lieutenant looks at you, the corner of his mouth curved into a smug grin. You don't have a single guess? Kuno. Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed based on our encounter. What's a filament memory again? Belongs inside a radio computer storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer. Imminent. It's like the production schedule you found, only this one's an off-site copy. An off-site copy. Interesting. Still don't seem to have gotten... Okay. Anyway. We have a thingy imminent. A thingy imminent. Thought complete. Lonesome long way home. Do I know where I live now? Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the centre of the district, then past the video rental store to the corner there at the end of the street, lined with pine trees, and a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone, and so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where is the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you know. That's all you have now. Learning cap for perception has been raised. Speed gives 1 psi. Accept. So we've done it. We now know where we live. I don't know what help that's going to be. So the ice cream maker. We found an ice cream maker. Let's... Also, I'm still in love with this torch. So, as a student game developer, right? I guess it like his head moves with it. Has it all been like obviously it's coded that when you have the torch equipped, the torch follows your mouse cursor. It's probably using a raycast, I would assume, to track the mouse. But it's also moving his... So that's not an animation, so it's got to be... I wonder how they do it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But, I mean, it is cool. It is really cool. I just love it. Anyway. It's just such... It's like... It's such an interesting idea. It's such a simple one as well, in terms of like, moving a torch. So somewhere near here, I would guess it's this one that I already looked at. This thing? Somewhere near the beer. I know there was another one that was still plugged in. It was over here. This one I can still look at. Because I unplugged the bear. Look at the machine. The orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream turner on top of it and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. Try to crack open the lid. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else, some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective. Equip it in your inventory, tutorial agent, by dragging the pry bar into your held slot. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams in the distance you hear water dripping. Oh, interesting. Inventory. I have a tool. I have a pry bar. Can I hold it in my right hand? I can. I don't know why it's in my hand. Oh, that is so low. Pry bar not strong enough. Better grip with gloves. -20. So I can't crack it yet. but at least we know it's there. Let's leave. Let's go check out the body. Try not to die. It's so pretty, this game. Whoever did the artwork on this is, it's just brilliant. They should be proud. They should be very proud. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. What's going on my phone? Nothing. Nothing of interest. And here we are. Now that we are outside, I don't need the torch. Just pop that in. I don't really need to hold a pry bar either. Interesting. Where was my bag of bottles that I had? Did I lose that when I died? I was carrying a bag of stuff in one of the episodes. I picked up a bag and then picked up some shit out of a bin to recycle. Look at this, so cool. Kuno, stop it. Right, to the body. Let's not die. Right, it's locked. So, get him down. Task complete. The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belts. He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought. Excuse me. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material. We could shoot him down. Yeah, the enthusiasm is unrestrained. Bang bang time, pigs. Shoot his head off. The lieutenant remains unaffected. How? Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch, that's a good spot. I don't know, just shoot up there maybe. There, the buckle holds the belt together. Where? He corrects his glasses. Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt. Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain the Kuno with some shit. They'll miss. The pigs will miss, Kuno. Take the let me try. The man's brows furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said. Say nothing. Let him choose. Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. Continue. Securing it in place. That's a Kegel A990, Armistice mass-produced muzzle loader. Ascetic, frugal, and one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the phallostis position. Taking aim, the corner of his eyes twitched, his fingers on the trigger. Easy does it, partner. Easy does it. He's gonna fucking miss. The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the wall of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back to say to himself, God damn it. A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The phallostis was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight. Fucking idiot. Mulcapa asshole. Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? It's okay. Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry for the binoclard. The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun in his hand. Try it again, maybe? No, we're lucky as it is. We didn't break anything and the victim remains uncompromised. Looks around at the windows overlooking the yard. Any more mistakes could put us in an So I can't try? God damn it. What now? I have to say it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance. Can I have the gun? It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms or punks causes a pistolette. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you, just don't lose it. The piece shines in the outstretched hand. They only have one gun? This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen. Yeah, take it, you fucking banana poika. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth. Feel the weight first. The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your finger fits right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger. You've held this at a P9 armistice before. At some point, it probably used to be your choice of firearm. It still feels comfortable, like you never laid it down. The fuck you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth. Point the gun at the belt. The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm. Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth, she hisses. At least you won't miss. Hand-eye coordination challenge 40%. Close your left eye first. Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the moonlight as the corpse slowly rotates. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders directing the gun sync up, dancing hypnotically. Oh, fuck. That's bad. Oh, that's so bad. Oh. I'd love to just point the gun there. Ah. Oh, that's not good. I missed. A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. With your ears still ringing, you lower the weapon to see what happens. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Oh shit, that's not good. No blood, only murky still dripping down his belly. The sudden sting makes your eyes water. Oh, great. Morale critical. Heal myself now. How? How? No! I can't. I don't know how to heal. I don't even know what that did. I don't know what I hit. What's going on here? Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right? Oh, wow. No one even likes cops. Oh. Fuck me, please. The rage you have for... Fuck me, please. The rage you have for after we finish the investigation. Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Wow. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman!" When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that this psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. "It's because the Furrows lost that match," said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. "It's because he couldn't get a big gun from acquisitions, and anyway, police work really burns you out after a while," Satellite Officer Jean-Vic Meyer, the deranged former Cubs partner, commented. Sergeant Mac Torson, another former colleague, did not propose any theories, merely saying, "Whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all." Right. So, our second attempt to, get the body, it kind of went a little bit worse than the first attempt. So, another interesting game over, at least we've seen that. Our second game over in 2 videos, that's quite impressive. This game is harder than I was expecting. But I'm still loving it. It's great. So I'm going to leave the video there because, why not? And when we come back, we'll do it all again and see if we can't get the body down and finish the autopsy without getting a game over. So thanks very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like the video. Consider sharing it with people you think might be interested in this kind of content. And, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you can keep up to date with all my future game overs. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. And I will see you all next time.